Thursday greetings and welcome to this evening's edition of Primetime News. I'm Michael Madimba. If it's your first time joining us, remember to subscribe, hit the like button and be sure to click the bell icon to stay posted on the latest happenings. In tonight's lead, we begin with environmental matters. Human and wildlife conflict continues to be a challenge in various parts of the country. It is against this backdrop that the Integrated Rural Development and Nature Conservation IRDNC says the deliberate poisoning of wild animals is seen as a weapon of choice by farmers who view wild animals as a threat to their livestock. This, the body surmises, is tantamount to wildlife genocide. Uakutura Kambayekwa compiled this report for us.
Integrated Rural Development and Nature Conservation Director John Kasauna made the statement stating that wildlife poisoning has been acknowledged as one of the most unembellished issues that has been threatening wildlife in Namibia and the Kunene region in particular, resulting in numerous unaccounted for death of wild animals for the past 10 years. Kasauna was responding to a recent incident in which 2 farmers were arrested for allegedly poisoning and killing 4 lions and 2 hyenas in the areas of Former Tendeka and Hiro Vipuka conservancies in the Kunene region. He told Number Today that farmers who lose livestock to wild animals tend to resort to retribution using poison as their defense mechanism. Kasauna said it is against Namibian laws for wild animals to be killed without permission, adding that Integrated Rural Development and Nature Conservation, being tasked with protecting wildlife, will not tolerate unruly farmers who take the law into their own hands. Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism spokesperson Romeo Muyonda echoed Kasauna's sentiments, stating that the law is clear when it comes to wildlife poisoning and can lead to imprisonment. Wakutura Kambayekwa reporting for Number News, Opuo.
Shifting to the National Assembly, where Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, Kailash Leitwein, has added his voice to the genocide reparations debate, calling on Namibians to unite if they want to succeed in getting the German government to deliver what is needed, including an apology and appropriate restitution for the genocide.
On the first point, that of the quantum of 1.1 billion euro, which is to be paid over 30 years, we agree. It is not anywhere close to what we had initially proposed, and we believe, like Honorable Kapofi has suggested, that it should be renegotiated. On the points 2 and 3, with all due respect, we disagree, because taking a stance ignoring developmental needs of a nation as a whole undermines the principle of a unitary state and that of a liberal democracy based on equality. Why am I saying that? Honourable Speaker, it is because I'm absolutely convinced that in a diverse society like Namibia, where the majority of Namibians over the past 150 years or so has resisted oppression and fought for equality and freedom from any form of exclusivity, a democratically elected government can only act within the legal framework of the national constitution, and that is as a government for all.
Moving on to the Kavango East region, where the chairperson of the Kavango Regional Council, Damien Magambai, says the Access to Information Bill, once passed, will assist them compel information officers through the Information Commissioner for members of the public to access information. Sawi Hausiku, our Kavango regions-based journalist, compiled this piece.
Mayambayi said this on Wednesday during the stakeholder consultation meeting on the Access to Information Bill tabled in the National Assembly last month. The bill aims to promote the public's free access to information held by public entities and to compel public and private entities to proactively and promptly make information available. The chairperson, who also doubles as the Mukwe constituency councillor, gave an example about the regional council's ordinary meetings, which he said are supposed to be public meetings, but are currently not attended by members of the public. He encouraged members of the public to attend these meetings. Contributing at the session, Rundu Councillor Reginald Ndara said, "This type of interaction is important in any democratic society." MICT Information Officer Asteria Njenje said, "The Access to Information Bill should be every Namibian's responsibility to share with others who are not in the know." She also called on the regional leadership to ensure information reached all people in the region. Reporting from Rundu, I am Sawi Hausiku.
Staying in the Kavango East region, Statistics provided by the Ministry of Health and Social Services have shown that the Kavango East region is at the bottom of the vaccination table of COVID-19 in comparison to the entire country. Once more, Sawi Hausiku compiled this informative insert.
Deputy Minister of Information, Communication and Technology, Emma Theophilus, said this while addressing a stakeholder consultative meeting on the Access to Information Bill tabled in Parliament last month. The bill aims to promote the public's free access to information held by public entities and to compel public and private entities to proactively and promptly make information available. The Deputy Minister added that Hardap region is leading the statistics of vaccination in the entire country with 30% of its population vaccinated. Theophilus called on the residents of the Kavango East region to get vaccinated, stating that the region is the second last, with Zambezi region being at the bottom of the vaccination table. She said the Kavango East region only had 5.7% of its population vaccinated, while the Zambezi has 5% of its population vaccinated. Meanwhile, the regional health director in the region, Timia Ngwira, said vaccine hesitancy is one of the biggest problems as some residents still see the vaccines as not safe. Ngwira said others are concerned about side effects that may come with the vaccines. Reporting from Rundu, I am Sawi Hausiku.
Stand by for your top wrap-up. In the business and economic segment tonight, we begin with domestic tourism. The second local tourism as Lakers SADC Expo and networking event is slated for the 28th to the 30th of October this year at Swakopmund. Isabel Bento, our coastal-based journalist, filed this insert.
Established in 2020, the Expo is aimed at providing a non-profit opportunity to tourism suppliers to showcase and market their services to SADC tourists. A media release issued by local tourism Laker founder Yvonne Van Holt on Wednesday revealed that the Expo has so far attracted over 20,000 members. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge impact on the tourism industry due to the resulting travel restrictions as well as slump in demand among travelers, which inevitably gave rise to the need for reassessment, strategizing, and supportive cooperation. Von Holtz noted that when developed in a meaningful way, domestic tourism is a sustainable and complementary way to international tourism and offers destinations an exceptional platform for year-round tourism economic growth and development. A general networking event will also be held on 29 October in order for members of the entire tourism sector to exchange ideas and strategies amongst each other. Reporting for Nampa, Isabel Bento, Swakopmund.
Youth at Arohab have called on the local and regional government to bring agricultural projects to the village, as they believe such projects can uplift their lives and put an end to the high unemployment in the area. Our Karas region-based journalist Suzette Chitaura compiled this report.
Aroab is a village in the Claras region located some 170 kilometers east of Keetmanshoop. It has 4,500 inhabitants and unemployment stands at 60%. Employment is scarce as employers are limited to a few government offices, a few small businesses and farms from farms around the village. Speaking to the Namibia Press Agency recently, 38-year-old Gert Isaacs urged government to bring projects to the village that could help them provide for themselves and their families. Isaacs said the pay for such short-term employment is not sustainable, adding that employment has left many young people desperate, leading to problems like stock theft. Keetmanshoop Rural Constituency Councillor Gert Witbooi told the Namibia Press Agency his office is trying to speed up government projects to create the jobs needed by the residents at the village. Salima Shumwe-Feleni reporting for Nampa News.
That's all from me, Michael Madimba. Your sports news will follow after the economics roundup and the weather forecast.
Good evening and welcome to Everything Sport on Sport Planet with me, Joy Gosses. We commence with Spanish football. La Liga returns to action with a reduced number of matches this weekend after the competition agreed to postpone the fixtures of Real Madrid versus Athletic Club Bilbao, as well as Granada versus Atletico Madrid due to World Cup duties. Shinwa brings us more.
La Liga argues that the decision has been taken to avoid adulterating the competition, but appears to ignore the fact that the two games will now be played in midweek sometime in the future. And this will hand a clear advantage to Real and Atletico, who have deeper squads and more ability to successfully rotate their first team. Meanwhile, The fact that neither Athletic Club or Granada have European games next week means there'll be 3 weeks without a competitive match, 23 days in Athletic Club's case, with the subsequent risk of losing match fitness when compared to their next rivals. The standout fixture of the 8 games that will be played sees FC Barcelona at home to Valencia on Sunday night. Ronald Koeman surprisingly remains as Barca coach after a side 2-0 defeat to Atletico ahead of the break, but desperately needs to see a win to ease the pressure a week ahead of the Clásico against Real Madrid.
Still on football, Bayern Munich defender Lucas Hernandez must appear before a Madrid court next week and faces 6 months in prison, a justice spokesperson confirmed today. Let's find out more from DPA.
France international Hernandez, 25, is to tell the court on Tuesday where he'll serve the sentence that was handed down on Wednesday for violating a restraining order in 2017 while playing at Atletico Madrid. He then has 10 days to start the prison term. The restraining orders were originally imposed on him and his girlfriend after a violent argument in 2017. They were then caught returning to Spain together after getting married before the 6 months were up. In Hernandez's case, this was deemed a violation of the restraining order, while his now wife reportedly got away with it because the original ruling had not yet been sent to her. In Spain, restraining orders remain in place even in the case of reconciliation because this prevents any kind of forced reconciliation. Hernandez has protested his innocence in the case while Munich have not commented. The player is appealing at a higher court. It is however reportedly unclear how soon a new court will deal with the case and whether the appeal would spare him from going to jail.
Your sports roundup is up next. With that, we have come to the end of tonight's bulletin. Much appreciated for tuning in. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and click on the notifications bell to stay abreast with the latest happenings, locally and globally. Do add your comments as well in the comments section. Catch us tomorrow for another edition of Primetime News. From myself, Joy Gosses, and the entire production crew, good night.